何の用だ。
So Boruto chapter 56 just dropped, and all I gotta say is wow, this chapter really drops some new information that I need to talk about. And with this chapter, there is a lot of confusion and there's a lot of debate on what is gonna happen, especially with these cyborgs being introduced. And before I get into these crazy cyborgs, let's just start from the top. The very beginning of this chapter, we see Boruto talking to a person. It looks like he is in an interview on TV, and this is where he's getting interviewed about what happened against Ishiki. And it looks like Boruto is actually the hero of the Leaf Village from this attack against Ishiki, because you gotta remember, back in Boruto chapter 49, Boruto did use the Karma Seal to teleport Ishiki from the Leaf Village to that other dimension from Boruto's Karma Seal, and because of that, Boruto is being treated as the hero, which I kind of find ironic because yes, Boruto did teleport Ishiki out of the village and did save Sasuke's life in the battle against Ishiki, but at the same time, people like Naruto, Sasuke, and Kawaki, they played a very crucial role against Ishiki. So, you know, I feel like Kawaki and Naruto and Sasuke, they should get some love too. It is what it is, because Boruto, without him, they wouldn't be able to beat Ishiki in the first place. Ishiki definitely would have killed a lot of people if Boruto did not use his Karma Seal and teleport Ishiki. And the next point I do want to talk about is when Amado is doing the checkup on Kawaki, and this is where Amado made a new arm for Kawaki to hold, because back in Boruto chapter 53, Kawaki's arm did come off since it was actually Naruto's prosthetic arm that Naruto was kneading through with chakra, and since that arm is no longer functionable, Kawaki has been given a new arm by Amado. I do want to talk about the last interaction with Amado and Kawaki. If you look closely right here, Amado is really thinking hard, man. You see the dots and he says Kawaki, and then he suddenly changes his mind. He says, no, never mind, let's do it next time. And all I'm thinking is, what do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that?
And this only confirms my suspicion on Amado even more. It's kind of crazy because this isn't the first time we see Amado like this, and if you look at the following page on the next panel, you see Sumire. She looks very suspicious of Amado, and this isn't the first time we saw this. You gotta remember, in last chapter, in Boruto chapter 55, after Amado, Katasuke, Sumire, and Shikamaru found out that Naruto, Sasuke, Boruto, and Kawaki took out Ishiki, Amado did look very conflicted. He had a very conflicted look on his face, and he was thinking hard. And if you look at the following panel of that chapter, Sumire looked very suspicious of Amado, and we're seeing it again this chapter, and this is really deepening my suspicion on Amado. And I'm just thinking, is Amado a double agent? Is he just doing a bluff? Is he bluffing? Does he have an ulterior motive that he wants to complete? And the fact that they're showing the subtleness between Amado and Sumire, it definitely is saying something. And I really like this show not tell ability, because obviously they're not saying anything about this, but the fact that they're dropping these little hints, these small panels about Amado being conflicted and Sumire being a little bit suspicious, shows you that there is something up with Amado. Amado is definitely planning something, and the fact that they're showing these small panels, all I gotta say is keep a note on Amado. He is definitely not safe. Obviously he's working under the leaf now, he has betrayed Kara, he has given all this information, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if he's actually bluffing. Kishimoto might pull a plot twist with Amado, and this reminds me of Zeke from Attack on Titan. So if you watch Attack on Titan, Zeke, of course, back in season 3, he was looked at as a villain. Eventually, now in season 4, he has an ulterior motive, and he was actually a double spy for Eren. And this is almost the same thing going on right here. I cannot confirm if Amado is a double spy, but I do think there is something up with Amado. The fact that he's looking like this, being conflicted, and the fact that Sumire is noticing this multiple times already shows you that there is something up. So definitely keep an eye out for Amado. And then we jump into the next panel where we get to see Sarada and Mitsuki again, alongside Inojin, Shikadai, and Chocho. And it was pretty cool to see them because we haven't seen these side characters for over a year now in the manga. So I'm glad that they're finally back, and this conversation that took place between them is that Boruto cannot go on missions because of the Karma Seal, and then we find out the village is keeping Boruto's Karma Seal and his rampage under wraps to avoid a mass panic among the people in the Leaf Village. And we find out that Boruto cannot go on missions anymore, which ultimately causes Team 7 to not go on missions anymore either. They basically don't have a team, and now they're on hiatus. And then we jump onto another scene with Boruto and Kawaki on the Hokage statue, and this is where Kawaki suggests a plan for Boruto. So what Kawaki actually tells Boruto is that Boruto should actually prepare his own vessel by giving someone else the Karma Seal, and Boruto's conflicted because he doesn't want to sacrifice anyone and he doesn't want to kill anybody. But this is where Kawaki explains to Boruto that a perfect vessel to give the Karma Seal to would be Code, the other inner member of Kara. And Kawaki did say that Code did survive Jigen's ritual alongside Kawaki when they were both given the Karma Seal. Kawaki did describe that after he was given the Karma Seal, Jigen did also put the Karma Seal onto Code's body, and he was having spasms and he was starting to shake. And unlike the kids that were given the Karma Seal and died in the process, Code did survive. He was actually given another Karma Seal, however he wasn't able to become a vessel. He was basically incompatible with Ishiki's Karma Seal, however he did survive and he was given a white Karma Seal, a dud, as we seen in the last chapter. And this is where we jump into another scene of Code. He is heading to Boro's facility, and this is where he gets into a confrontation with some of the guards at the facility, and this is where he begins to attack them. And here we see him pull out some claws and activate his white Karma Seal, and the guard does shoot some blasts which Code does cut away, and this is where Code extends some black bands. And I do want to talk about this ability because this ability is so broken. It's basically like a mix of Kamui and Flying Raijin. When Code expands these black bands, they come up all around the guards' bodies, and this is where he's able to teleport at will, just like the Flying Raijin jutsu that Minato used. It is just like this, which is so broken because we saw how fast the Flying Raijin or the Flying Thunder God was. So Code easily speed blitzes the guards using the bands, and he stabs one of the guards using the claws that he has. And then Code actually stabs the other guard by wrapping the band around him, and this is where he puts his hand through the band, which actually goes through the guard's chest. And this is crazy because this is just like Kamui. If you don't remember, with Obito and Kakashi Sharingan, their special Mangekyo Sharingan ability was Kamui, where you can pass objects through your body or through dimensions, and this is what Code's bands can essentially do as well. These bands are absolutely broken. He can basically teleport himself among the bands just like Minato's Flying Raijin, but also pass objects and attack through these bands just like Kamui. These abilities for Code are insane, man. Like, I really want to see this man fight because oh my god, these abilities are so hacks. They basically makes Code almost untouchable in battle, and this is where we find out that Code is actually stronger than Jigen. If you did see my spoilers video, I did talk about that, but in this chapter, Amado does go in depth on just how strong Code is. We do find out that Code was very submissive to Jigen, and he kind of had a religious devotion to the Otsutsuki. He basically worships them like a god, especially with Ishiki, so he has a very strong correlation with someone like Jigen, and he basically loved him. And what's crazy is that despite being stronger than Jigen, Code is actually being nerfed as we speak. If you look at the band on his head, that is actually a limiter, and that actually checks his strength. This limiter actually nerfs his power, which is in contrast to the rest of the Kara inner members, because if you remember, a lot of the inner members of Kara, they are enhanced with Scientific Ninja Tech. However, Code, he has Scientific Ninja Tech that actually nerfs his abilities, that actually makes him weaker with these limiters, and we find out that these limiters can only be deactivated by Amado himself. And we also find out that Amado has made several cyborgs stronger than Jigen, and I do want to talk about this because a lot of people are kind of conflicted about this. I talked to you guys in the comment section, and some people said, why didn't Amado use these cyborgs to take down Jigen since he was going to betray the Kara organization? And we find out that these cyborgs were actually supposed to be disposed as of Jigen's order. They had to be taken out because if they weren't, Jigen wouldn't be able to hold his position as leader, and he wouldn't be able to take out these orders to the other members of the Kara organization and to give the Karma Seal to a perfect vessel. And this is where Amado of course made Kashin Koji, who of course isn't as strong as these androids as they say, however he is strong enough to take down Jigen. And of course with these cyborgs, if they were actually out there, if they were actually alive, Jigen, he wouldn't want them around since they were stronger than him. That would actually take over his leadership over at the Kara organization, and since Jigen didn't want that, he wanted them disposed. And this is why Amado made Kashin Koji, because even though he's not as strong as these cyborgs, he is enough to take down Jigen. And I do want to reiterate about Kawaki's plan. So of course with Boruto, if he wants to give karma to Code, it would actually be a very beneficial plan for Boruto himself, because if Boruto were to give the Karma Seal to Code, eventually the Karma Seal, once it hits 100%, Momoshiki can resurrect through either Boruto's body or Code's body, and if Momoshiki does indeed resurrect through Code's body, Boruto will lose the Karma Seal. We saw this back in Boruto chapter 47, once Kashin Koji killed Jigen and Ishiki resurrected through Jigen's dead body, Kawaki did lose the Karma Seal. So of course with Kawaki, he is thinking the same way. If Boruto gives Code the Karma Seal, and once Momoshiki resurrects through Code's body, not only will Code die, but Boruto will lose the Karma Seal, thus saving his own life. And this is where we end off conversation between Boruto and Kawaki, with Boruto having a new resolve. Instead of sulking about the situation of him potentially dying, instead he says, yo, let's train. Me and you, Kawaki, we have to train in order to take down Code. And this is where we get to the end of the chapter. Code runs into a person named Bug, who looks like he is one of the people that runs the facilities that Boro owns. And this is where Code meets a person named Ada, who is one of the cyborgs that was stored away that Jigen wanted to dispose, who is apparently stronger than Jigen. And here's what Ada looks like. This chapter was really good, man. There was a lot of information that dropped. The fact that there is a new cyborg that is stronger than Jigen, and there's a potential situation of even more cyborgs being introduced, it is pretty crazy. I'm gonna go over Ada's power in my next video. I know there's only one statement about her, but I do want to talk about it in another video that's gonna come in the next couple of days. But I do want to say that wow, this chapter dropped a lot of information and I loved it. Obviously in the last couple of chapters we just had fights after fights after fights, but now we can slow things down and get a lot of information and lore, and we're gonna get a 5 Kage summit next chapter. Naruto did call for a 5 Kage summit, so of course we're gonna get one as well. But with the fact that Code describes Ada as someone who knows everything in this world, it shows you that these cyborgs, they definitely have some information that we don't know of. Maybe about the Otsutsuki, maybe about Kage and Ishiki, maybe about the Jogan or the Otsutsuki King. I really want to see these two fight together, and imagine if they pull up in the Leaf Village next chapter. Ada and Code together. And you gotta remember, one of the people that was on Code's hit list at the end of Boruto chapter 55 was Amado. So imagine Code and Ada pulling up on the Leaf Village and fucking up Amado, man. They would destroy Amado, of course.
Get him up, let him get up, let him get up, let him get up. Fight back, nigga! Fight back! Fight back!
So that would be hilarious if Amado gets jumped by both Code and Ada. So let me know what you think about this chapter in the comment section below. Did you like this chapter? Do you think it was bad? And how do you feel about a new cyborg being introduced into the story that is stronger than Jigen? I talked to some people in the comments. I know some people are kind of mad about it. Some people like it. Just give me your honest opinion about it. I'm here for anything. So let me know what you think about this chapter in the comment section below. So if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell as well, and have a good day. Peace.